The sky over the Nevada desert was still, almost too still, as if the world itself was holding its breath. Captain Nathan Cole stood on the observation deck of USS Dauntless, the most advanced warship Earth had ever built. It wasn't a ship in the traditional sense, not something that floated in the ocean. Dauntless was parked in high orbit, a spearhead of steel and plasma, bristling with railguns, missile bays, and shields that shimmered like heat haze against the black. From space, Nathan could see the deserts below blowing under the afternoon sun, empty and quiet. But his gut told him that quiet wouldn't last. "Any new transmission?" he asked, his voice low but edged with tension. Lieutenant Maya Brooks, his communications officer, swiveled in her chair. Her face was pale under the blue light of her console. "Same as before, Captain. They're broadcasting on every frequency. We have VHF, UHF, quantum channels, even piggybacking civilian networks. The message repeats every 7 minutes." Nathan's jaw tightened. "Play it again." The ship's speakers crackled, and a voice filled the command deck, deep, resonant, impossible to ignore. "Children of Earth, kneel. We are the eternal sovereigns. Your world is ours, as it has always been. You live because we will it. You breathe because we allow it. Kneel, and we may grant you mercy." The voice faded, leaving an electric silence behind it. Lieutenant Commander James Vance, Nathan's XO, spat a curse under his breath. "They sure know how to make friends." Nathan didn't reply immediately. His eyes stayed locked on the holoscreen showing orbital telemetry. Something was out there, something big, but it wasn't in visual range yet. He'd been in the Navy for 20 years. He'd fought pirates in the asteroid belt, run escort for colony ships, even stared down a rogue AI during the Titan blockade. But this was different. Whoever was speaking wasn't just another warlord. They spoke like they owned humanity. "Bring up the signal's origin," Nathan said. Maya's fingers danced over her console. "Triangulated to Lagrange point 2. Big mass signature. Definitely not a natural object." Nathan nodded slowly. "Put us on an intercept course. All hands to alert condition 2. The deck lights shifted to amber, bathing the command center in a muted, warlike glow. Dauntless rumbled as its fusion drives came alive, pivoting the colossal warship toward its target. Nathan exhaled and muttered to himself, "All right, sovereigns. Let's see what you really are." Earth below, the people listen. While Dauntless moved silently through the void, the world below was in chaos. Cities from Los Angeles to New York were in panic. Some knelt, believing the voice to be divine. Others rioted, looting stores, screaming that the end of days had come. In a cramped apartment in Chicago, Dr. Elena Park, a linguist and anthropologist, sat with headphones on, analyzing the broadcast. She was one of the top civilian consultants brought in by NORAD. "They don't just sound confident," she murmured to the general standing behind her. "Their syntax implies ownership, like a farmer talking to cattle. This isn't just a threat. It's a reminder. They believe they've ruled us before." General Marcus Hale grunted. "Then they picked the wrong century to come back. Dauntless is on the way." Elena nodded, but her gut twisted. She wasn't a soldier. She wasn't ready for a war with beings who called themselves gods. First contact. Back aboard Dauntless, the alien vessel came into view. It wasn't a ship, at least, not in any human sense. It was a cathedral in space. Its surface was a lattice of gold and black metal, glowing with rivers of blue energy. Massive spires jutted out at impossible angles, radiating a faint light that made the stars seem to dim. "Jesus," Maya whispered. "It's broadcasting again," she said, but her voice was small, almost drowned out by the awe in the room. "You approach without permission. This is our domain. Kneel, or be erased." Nathan felt something hot rise in his chest. He wasn't a man prone to anger. Years of command had taught him to keep his emotions in check. But this? This wasn't just a threat to his ship. It was a threat to everyone. "Helm," Nathan said, his voice calm but sharp, "bring us within 5,000 clicks." Tactical, power up shields and load railguns. Do not, I repeat, do not fire until I give the order. The crew acknowledged him in unison, their voices steady, but Nathan could feel the tension radiating off them. This was humanity's first real encounter with an alien civilization. And it was already hostile. The test. The alien ship moved first. A beam of light lanced out, faster than Nathan could blink, but it didn't strike. Instead, it passed just ahead of Dauntless, grazing her shields. The ship shuddered, warning klaxons flaring red. That was a warning shot, Vance said grimly. Nathan's hands curled into fists. He thought of the billions of people below, terrified, waiting to see if their world was about to burn. Open a channel, he said. The bridge fell silent. The comm officer nodded. Channel open. Nathan straightened, his voice carrying across space. This is Captain Nathan Cole of the USS Dauntless, representing the United Nations of Earth. We don't kneel. We don't serve. If you think you can take this planet, come and try. For a moment, there was only static. Then the alien voice returned, colder than before. So be it. The culling begins. The alien ship lit up. Brace! Vance shouted. A blast of energy shot toward Dauntless, but this time, Nathan was ready. Evasive maneuvers. Return fire. The void exploded into light. Railguns screamed, hurling slugs at hypersonic speeds. Missiles streaked toward the Golden Cathedral, detonating against its shields. The alien ship retaliated with beams that carved through the dark like spears of sunlight. Space became a battleground. And for the first time in human history, Earth stood toe-to-toe with something that called itself a god. Nathan gritted his teeth as the Dauntless rocked under the impact of another blast. Somewhere deep inside him, fear twisted, but it was drowned out by something stronger. Rage. They would not kneel. Not today. Not ever. The first salvo had been just the beginning. Dauntless rolled hard to port as another lance of energy seared past, so bright it left after images on the crew's eyes. The shield shimmered but held. Nathan gripped the command rail as the ship vibrated from its own railgun barrage. Tactical report, he barked. Lieutenant Harlan Wu didn't look up from his console. Enemy shields are strong but not impenetrable. Readings show slight phase distortion where we hit with slugs 5 and 6. We can punch through if we keep up the pressure. Then keep firing, Nathan growled. The bridge was a blur of motion, officers shouting data, alarms chiming as the ship danced between beams that could atomize a destroyer. But Dauntless was no ordinary ship. Her railguns roared, missiles launched in synchronized patterns, and plasma batteries carved arcs of blue fire across the void. The alien ship began to move. Its spires shifted and rotated like a living thing, releasing swarms of smaller craft, sleek, angular fighters that glowed with the same airy gold light. Enemy interceptors inbound. Maya shouted. Launch our birds, Nathan ordered. The hangar bays opened, and the Dauntless unleashed her own squadrons. Dozens of human fighters streaked into the black, contrails of ionized plasma in their wake. Viper 1, this is Dauntless Actual, Nathan said into the comms. Keep them off us. Buy us time to crack their shields. Copy that, Dauntless, came the reply from Commander Ethan Ward, the fighter wing leader. We'll keep the gods busy. The battle turns. Dogfights erupted across the stars. Human and alien craft danced between the wreckage of exploding missiles, each side trying to outmaneuver the other. Ward's fighter banked hard, a golden interceptor on his tail. He fired a burst of Gauss rounds, shredding it into molten shards. Target down, he muttered, then switched channels. Cole, those things are fast, but they're not invincible. We can take them. Nathan heard the confidence in Ward's voice and allowed himself the faintest smile. Humanity was holding its own. But the alien ship was far from beaten. Captain, Harlan said sharply, I'm detecting a massive energy buildup in their core. Whatever it is, it's big. Nathan didn't hesitate. All hands, brace for impact. Helm, roll us 90 degrees and divert auxiliary power to forward shields. The alien cathedral pulsed once, and then a shockwave of pure energy tore outward, slamming into Dauntless. The ship groaned like a living thing, lights flickering. Nathan felt his teeth rattle as the deck lurched. Report! Shields down to 40%. Vance shouted. Minor hull breaches on decks 12 and 14, damage control is sealing them now. Nathan gritted his teeth. They couldn't take another hit like that. Find me a weak point, he ordered. The revelation. Elena Park's voice crackled through the comm channel from NORAD headquarters. She'd been monitoring every moment of the fight. Captain, I've been analyzing their language patterns. There's something you need to hear. Make it quick, Nathan replied. The word they use for sovereign, it's the same root as their word for shepherd. They don't see themselves as conquerors, they see us as livestock. This isn't a first contact scenario. This is a return. Nathan's stomach twisted. Meaning what? Vance asked. Meaning, Elena said grimly, they've been here before. Our myths about gods Zeus, Ara, Quetzalcoatl, they might have been these things. They culled populations, played rulers, then left when they had what they wanted. Nathan's hands curled into fists. So this wasn't just an invasion. It was the resumption of some ancient cycle. Then it ends today, he said coldly. Breaking the illusion. Harlan, patch me into weapons control. I want a full salvo of plasma torpedoes on my mark. Aye, sir. Nathan stared at the alien cathedral, its spires glowing brighter as it prepared another devastating strike. Helm, bring us to 3,000 clicks right down their throat. The crew didn't question him. Dauntless surged forward, engines burning bright, closing the distance until the enemy ship filled the viewscreen. Fire! The torpedoes launched in perfect formation, streaking toward the alien vessel. Its shields flared as they struck and then, finally, cracked. One torpedo slipped through, slamming into the golden latticework. The explosion was blinding. Direct hit! Harlan shouted. Their outer shield array is down. We've got a hole. Exploit it, Nathan said. Pour everything we have into that breach. Railguns spat tungsten slugs into the wound, tearing open metal and crystal. Fires erupted inside the alien ship, venting glowing debris into space. For the first time, the gods bled. Their true faces. A new transmission came through, but this time, the voice was different, no longer calm, no longer regal. You dare wound the eternal sovereigns? You would break the order we built for you? Insolent animals. Nathan's reply was ice cold. We stopped being your cattle a long time ago. He turned to Vance. Prepare the Nova Lance. Vance's eyes widened. The Nova Lance was Dauntless' most powerful weapon, a concentrated particle beam capable of slicing a cruiser in half. It had never been fired in combat. Target the breach, Nathan ordered. The ship's reactor roared as energy built up, channeled into a single point at the prow. Firing, Vance said. A beam of white-blue energy shot forth, spearing the alien ship through the heart. Its spires shattered, one by one, breaking apart like brittle glass. The cathedral shuddered, light rippling across its surface, and then it went dark. Cheers erupted on the bridge, but Nathan didn't smile. Not yet. Status, he asked. Enemy ship is adrift, Harlan said. No power signatures. They're dead in the water. Nathan exhaled slowly. The battle was over for now. But deep in his gut, he knew this wasn't the end. Elena came back on the line. Captain, you don't understand. That wasn't just one ship. My analysis shows their language implies a collective. A hierarchy. If we killed one god, there are more, maybe hundreds. Nathan stared out at the drifting wreckage, his jaw set. Then we'd better get ready, he said quietly. Because the rest of them are coming. The gods have been struck down, but now humanity knows the truth. This was just the first of many. The final chapter will bring the full wrath of the sovereigns, the largest battle humanity has ever fought, and a decisive ending that ensures Earth will never kneel again. The wreckage of the alien cathedral drifted silently in orbit, its spires broken, its once blinding light now cold and dead. For a brief moment, space was still. On the bridge of USS Dauntless, no one spoke. The crew stared at the shattered remains, a mixture of awe and disbelief on their faces. Humanity had done the unthinkable. They had struck down a god. But Captain Nathan Cole wasn't celebrating. He stood at the forward viewport, hands clasped behind his back, his jaw set. "Captain," Lieutenant Maya Brooks said quietly, "we're receiving a transmission, not from the wreck, but from deep space." Nathan turned. "Put it through." The voice that filled the room was layered, like a chorus of 1,000 throats speaking as one. "You have slain one of us. You have spilled divine blood. For this sin, your world shall burn." A chill ran through the command deck. "Source?" Nathan asked. Maya's eyes darted over her console. Her voice trembled. "Multiple points. Hundreds. They're not coming. They're already here." The starfield shifted. One by one, shadows blotted out the light Titanic vessels descending from the void, each as vast and ornate as the first. A fleet of sovereigns, a pantheon of gods returned to reclaim their dominion. The illusion was gone. What remained was war. Rallying the planet. Back on Earth, chaos reigned. News outlets broadcast live footage of the alien armada filling the skies. In New York, crowds screamed in panic. In Beijing, soldiers flooded the streets, preparing for the unthinkable. At NORAD, General Marcus Hale slammed his fist on the table. "Damn it, we've got maybe a day before they crack the line and start glassing cities. We need every ship, every fighter, every missile we've got in the air." Dr. Elena Park adjusted her glasses, her face pale. "General, their entire identity is built on control. They believe themselves unassailable. If we can shatter that belief, if we can show their own people they can bleed, we can break them." Hale frowned. "You're saying we don't just fight them. We humiliate them." "Exactly," Elena said. "You don't kill a god with firepower alone. You kill a god by destroying faith." Hale nodded slowly, then opened the secure channel. "Captain Cole, you heard the lady. The whole damn planet is counting on you." Nathan's voice came back, steady as steel. "Copy that, General. Dauntless will lead the way." The first clash. The Sovereign fleet advanced, blotting out the stars with their gilded hulls. Nathan stood tall at the center of his bridge. "Helm, bring us forward. Tactical, prioritize command vessels, the ones coordinating their fleets. If we cut the head off, the body will flail." The Dauntless surged into the black, humanity's spear against the gods. "Fire all batteries!" Nathan roared. Railguns thundered, missiles streaked like meteors, plasma cannons painted arcs of blue fire. Explosions rippled across the void as Sovereign frigates shattered under the assault. But the retaliation was swift. Beams of golden light lanced through space, vaporizing half of Ward's fighter squadron in an instant. One blast clipped Dauntless, tearing through her shields and sending sparks cascading across the bridge. "Shields down to 30%. Vance shouted. "Keep firing." Nathan barked. His knuckles whitened on the command rail. "We don't stop until they're ash." The turning point. Hours blurred into moments. Space was fire and ruin. The Dauntless fought like a beast cornered, but the Sovereigns were endless. For every ship destroyed, 3 more emerged from the void. Harlan Wu's voice cracked. "Captain, we can't win this. Not like this. They'll overwhelm us." Nathan's eyes hardened. "Then we change the rules." He turned to Maya. "Patch me into the fleet. All channels." A second later, his voice echoed across every human ship, every pilot, every soldier. "This is Captain Nathan Cole. Listen carefully. They call themselves gods, but you've seen what they are. They bleed. They break. they die. Today isn't about survival. Today we show the galaxy the truth: humanity kneels to no one. A roar of voices answered across the comms. Morale surged like wildfire. And in that moment, Nathan knew humanity would not go quietly. The final gambit. Vance leaned close. "Sir, there's one option. The Nova Lance, full overcharge. Directed into the Sovereign's command nexus." Nathan's stomach twisted. Overcharging the Nova Lance could tear Dauntless apart. But it might also cripple the entire fleet. He nodded. "Prep it. Helm, set course for their nexus." Maya's eyes widened. "Sir, that's suicide." Nathan looked at her, his expression resolute. "If we fall today, the world falls with us. I'll be damned if my kids grow up slaves to false gods." The crew said nothing, but their silence was acceptance. They would follow him into fire. Dauntless roared forward, engines blazing, diving straight into the heart of the Sovereign fleet. Enemy fire rained down, tearing into her hull. Fires erupted across the decks. The ship screamed under the strain. "Reactor at maximum charge." Vance shouted. "She can't take much more." "Then let's finish this," Nathan said. The bridge lights flickered as the Nova Lance built to critical. Sparks showered from the consoles. Nathan gripped the command rail, every muscle tense. Fire! The fall of the gods. The beam erupted, brighter than the sun, a spear of pure destruction. It tore through the command nexus, a vast sovereign capital ship, and pierced straight into its core. For a moment, silence. Then the explosion. The nexus went nova, a chain reaction racing through the sovereign fleet. One by one, their ships ruptured, detonating in golden fire. The gods fell screaming from the heavens, their illusions shattered, their dominion broken. On Earth, billions watched as the night sky lit up with streaks of fire, wreckage burning across the atmosphere. For the first time, the people cheered. The gods were dying. The bridge of Dauntless was a ruin. Fires burned in the corners, consoles sparking, crew bruised and bloodied. But they were alive. Vance coughed, wiping blood from his forehead. "Captain, reactors offline. Weapons are gone. But, we did it." Nathan slumped against the rail, exhaustion washing over him. He stared out at the drifting wreckage. The gods were gone. Elena's voice came over the comm, soft and trembling. "Captain, the world is watching. They saw everything. You didn't just save us. You freed us." Nathan closed his eyes. For the first time since the battle began, he allowed himself a small, tired smile. "Then let them remember this," he said hoarsely. "Gods can fall. And humanity will never bow again." Weeks later, the skies were clear. Cities rebuilt. Fear turned to resolve. Across Earth, people spoke of the day the gods died, the day humanity proved itself master of its own destiny. And though Nathan knew the galaxy beyond was still vast and dangerous, one truth was now undeniable. The age of gods was over. The age of humanity had begun.